Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you. I will probably pull oracle cards afterwards as well, which I've been getting some great channeled messages. And we're going to get right to it. It's November 25th, 2019. The 25 is the Knight of Wands. So it's very much about action today. Running around doing errands, passionately running in to see somebody, working out, all of those physical, passionate activities, along with the day adding up to 48, which is a 3. 48 is the 8 of Cups, walking away and within. So feeling like something's missing, but keeping busy, could be kind of trying to avoid it, but ending up walking away and within. So it is a 3 as well, so it's coming together, siblings, expressing your authenticity, just being happy-go-lucky, that person with a smile on your face, being of joy, and the 25 being the 7, the calm before the storm, this deep spirituality, the quiet time. So when you're under 7 energy, if you don't take time out, that's when the tower moment will come in and kind of force you into an illness or something so that you'll be still so you can contemplate things. So for the masculine today, the read was done at 3:58. 58 is the 4 of Swords and 3 the Empress. So maybe mom's getting some peace today, peace and quiet. But for the masculine, the only major arcana was Indigo, which is like the Magician in this SIRIAN STARSEED deck, which is the main deck for this read. Before the read, the Star card came up as well, but those two are the only major arcanas in the read today, which means that the masculine has more room to take his own actions. You know, he's not so guided from the other side, so he's really free to make his own decisions, right? Sometimes for me it feels better when there's more major arcanas there, you know, because I feel the guidance, as opposed to when you're left on your own devices or to your own devices about making your decisions. And so I want to bring that up because that came up today too. And this is my phrase that man does have free will, but God has free bliss. Don't forget that man has the free will to will himself out of free bliss. Okay? And that, of course, has to do with ego and being a human. And my light just brightened. My lights crack me up all day long because depending on what I'm thinking, my lights flicker all the time in my house, wherever I go, actually. When I was my appointment today, the light was flickering. But it's funny when I have certain thoughts that are of a higher vibration and the lights really go up, and then vice versa as well. When I think of something that might make me sad, all of a sudden the light will come down. So it's very cool being able to see directly what you're thinking. It kind of reminds you to raise your vibration again. So we have three pentacles, 4 cups, 1 wand, and 2 swords. So mostly cups, so very emotional day for the Divine Masculine today. And it is a Monday, so Mondays can be emotional, but it's not so oriented towards the Wands and Pentacles, which after doing cards for the Divine Masculine for a couple years now, the cards are very different now. When we started out this journey, it was very much more about Pentacles and Wands all the time, and staying away from the Swords and the Cups, and now the Masculine's coming much more into the Cups and Swords as well. So we have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups in the read, and they were both upright. The King of Cups comes in after the read, but he's reversed through this read, and definitely so. It could be someone who could be a wedge in the union, someone who's interfering. Could be someone with depression or alcoholism. It could be another masculine in the Divine Feminine's realm or in the Karmic's realm. Could be someone, could be a relative or a friend, or actually someone pursuing the Karmic as well in the masculine's energy. And of course we have the holidays coming up, so it was very interesting that today there were only the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups in the masculine's read. So the numbers that came up today, we had 777s, we had double 6s, double 10s, so a lot of high vibrations. 777s, double 6s, and 66 is the Queen of Pentacles. 1-1 or 11 is Justice, and then 10-10 is just that very high vibrational trill, like 1-0-1-0-1-0-1, right? Then we have 5-6-7 as a sequence of numbers that came up, as well as 9-10, begin again, Number 1, the Magician. 16, the Tower. 67, the Knight of Pentacles. 7, 10 as well, 15, the devil, 56, the 2 of swords, 78, the 10 of pentacles, and then 89 as well. So a lot of the 10 of cups and 10 of pentacles have been coming up this week, obviously because of the holidays. So take that into consideration. And I met with an old friend today. That was funny because I think it was yesterday, that Tony thing, the knee, toe, and Tony, as far as the leg, the relationship between the toe and the knee and the toe. And I told you that I know a toe knee and a knee toe, and I actually met with my friend Tony today. So that was kind of funny. Okay, so the message today on the code line for me was all about teaching and learning, time out, adventure, and health. And that's been a common theme this week as well, teaching and learning. And actually in the numerology cards we have, that was the numerology cards, teaching and learning, but in the Romance Angels we also had forgiving and learning. So it's that same type of theme, you know, sharing, give and take, all that kind of stuff. And the message specifically was just about, and this is for the Divine Masculine, was about the Divine Feminine, the Sophia 9, the collective consciousness of the Divine Feminine, or the lovers, showing the feminine part, though, because when we do this masculine read, we're doing it for the masculine, but also the masculine within the feminine. So here, when the masculine's message comes up about the feminine, it also regards the feminine within him. So this message was about the Divine Feminine, the Sophia 9, the collective consciousness of the feminine energy, and the lovers in respect to the Divine Feminines, showing the power of the Queen of Cups, that loving intuition. So it's very much that strong energy of love and intuition. And she is upright and one of the main characters in the read today, along with that Knight of Cups. There were a lot of the core cards were upright today. There were very few reversed. I do want to tell you before we start too that the underlying energies, who was up there? It wasn't there, but within the read, the only core card that switches is the Queen of Swords. There's one place where the Queen of Swords is upright, another place where the Queen of Swords is reversed. But the Queen of Cups there comes up twice upright. Okay, it's the King of Cups. The King of Cups comes up upright next to the Queen of Cups. But then later in the bulk of the read, the King of Cups is reversed, but the Queen of Cups remains upright. And there was also two couples coming up, the King and Queen of Swords and the King and Queen of Cups. There may be two kids and their spouses dealing with their parents, which are coming up as the Hierophant and the Empress, both reversed. So maybe both parents are sick, and it could be one parent from each side of the family, or they could be actually both parents of one side. But it's coming up as like siblings and their spouses, so two different couples dealing with issues with their parents. Maybe they're both, you know, coming down with some kind of health issues that they have to come together to take care of. So that could be one of the themes. I also pulled some Kipper cards after I did this read, just to get some more clarification, and I'll show you those cards as well. So we start out here with the Five of Pentacles reversed, which is recovering. Okay, so some kind of practical, you know, that's abandonment, feeling like you're in exile outside the group, alone, left behind, whatever. But it's recovering, so it's reversed here. We also have the 10 of Swords there. We have the Star card, and then the 7 of Pentacles, which in this deck for me is the Divine Feminine's heart, because it's like the E Tower or Rapunzel's tower, okay? So starting out with that 5 of Pentacles, but it isn't reversed, recovering or bouncing back in a practical way from exile or financial issues, perhaps, in a painful ending and or betrayal, or just back pain, or getting back treatments as well, losing hope, depressed, and reaping rewards, possibly of unworthiness of the Divine Feminine's heart. Not sure if you have enough money, or not sure if you're worth enough. Emotional fulfillment in dumping burdens and getting others to do it. So someone, you know, whereas the masculine's always taking on all these burdens, he may be like testing the waters and dumping all of his burdens and getting others to do it. Or it could be someone around who always dumps their burdens on him, knowing that he'll pick them up. It could be, I'm getting more though, it's about the masculine or even the Divine Feminine in his energy, like finding emotional fulfillment, by dumping all their burdens, dumping their responsibilities, and allowing someone else to do it, right? So getting and feeling like they're cheating because they're getting away with something, right? Because they're always the responsible ones. So the responsible personality always feels like they're cheating or they're getting away with something they shouldn't be doing when they let go of all those burdens. So a new feeling, getting others to do it, or stealing sex energy or the third energy, the quanta for him. The High Priestess reversed, not in the light just flickered again. The High Priestess reversed, not using their intuition, or that a secret passion is out now, not expressing feelings, to the Ten of Pentacles reversed family. So now both of them have come up. The Ten of Cups is upright, but the Ten of Pentacles reversed family is reversed. And I often reference them these days to the Montagues and the Capulets. The Montagues being the Ten of Pentacles and the Capulets being the more emotional family, the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Pentacles reversed, or the dysfunctional family, or family just with issues or loss. It could be loss and issues with family members specifically. But the masculine not expressing feelings to this family, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, who could have dysfunction in it, which most families do, but this is really about major dysfunction and or big financial loss. And referring to the Queen of Wands and a new passion or third energy used to recover. And of course, the new passion can have to do with creativity as well. But the Queen of Wands specifically here, regarding someone maybe who doesn't use their intuition or who knows that the secret is out, the Queen of Wands connected to the dysfunctional family or loss of money, offering this sexual energy. It could be sexual offers to the masculine, or it could be creative offers. Maybe she wants her creative projects considered. So about the Queen of Wands and new passion or third energy or creativity used to recover, or the Queen of Wands offering sex or creativity to recover family finances, or family stealing her energy to take on their responsibilities. So she may feel like the family's dumping on her. The Queen of Wands using her long line or long tail of black cat DNA, and take this however it comes to you, it's going to be different for everybody, or found the strand, the Queen of Wands may have had her DNA tested, or may have found the strand that is dysfunctional in her family lineage, right? So whether that's some kind of vitamin absorption deficiency, it can be many different things, but someone could have had their DNA tested, or this can reference a long line of black cat references. So that can be having to do with using psychic abilities or doing spell work or having cats, whatever it is. But just coming from a long line of women who do the same thing in that respect. Or found the strand that is dysfunctional in her family lineage. Or a long line of sex for wealthy family or dysfunction in the family. Remember that if you have no money in our history, you barter with what you do have. So if a girl's family wasn't wealthy, she'd go to the highest bidder if she was a beautiful girl, because she could sell her sex or her creativity, her dowry, or go with the old man dying to get his money when he died, or to promise strong DNA for the children she would bear for him, beauty, intelligence, and strong body, or bartering energy for money, and Spirit's connecting very strongly on this. Or the happy family just got rid of all their responsibilities, and the Queen of Wands just has one more to add. You're not quite done yet. So like finally when they finished everything, they thought they were done, the Queen of Wands is coming along with one more thing for them to do. Weakness, Leo reversed, ego, death, or out of control, Magician reversed, is someone who's insecure and can be manipulative, unable to tame their inner beast, and insecure and manipulative after losing a job, or just done overworking or suffering in silence and just can't do it anymore. Unrequited love comes up here, and let go of control issues beneath that. Leo and or ego, and that streetcar named desire, has only brought him great pain and suffering. Maybe not sleeping, up nights stressed, aroused, but refusing the Queen of Wands' offers of sex. Or she's more like the man, a ball buster, and just wants sex and nothing more. Or the Queen of Wands feels like the Divine Feminine is stealing her sex life away. Or she's a recovering sex addict, or he is. Avoiding or in the aftermath of being drained energetically or feeling sick, or sick and tired of jealousy issues overexposed Distanced thoughts, sexually conflicted about what's considered cheating. Ready to wield his sword, his mirror, and his chalice. And that was 438, which is the Emperor and the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Cups. So there could be accusations here with the Emperor and the Queen of Cups. Accusations of stealing, cheating, lying, and fighting about it. No more talks at the gate. Like this is someone's done with something. There are no more talks at the gate, starting over fresh with scissors, magnet, coin. No more manipulations, sweets, or tweets. Or this little birdie said. So the gossip, like if the masculine was told things about the divine feminine at the beginning of this, it could have led to all of the issues between them because of what somebody else said, instead of the masculine going with his own intuition or firsthand information, actually going to the source. So this is where someone's saying, no more of this, the divine masculine, no more this little birdie said. And this could be the karmic, or a friend or a family member, constantly whispering in his ear things that are not true. So pride comes up here, and beneath pride is moderation. And it could actually be the masculine's pride in his moderation, that he prides himself on being a moderate person, and that's how he stays balanced. Starting to rely on his own intuition as opposed to others' manipulations. No more jealous fights to lower his vibration, or manipulating or changing his words that he has said. Too much water under the bridge, now only taking guidance from higher ups, or his higher guidance. And no more use of armor, right? No protecting, putting a cover on so someone can't see, especially in bed. Unhappy family or end of emotional cycle of chaos and detox, not expressing feelings with wealthy family or about family finances. The world is upside down in a split with lies and BS, blue eyes and blue ribbons, and foot in socket illumination or light treatment. Implementing a plan to go forward, writing or journaling, penmanship or scribe, letting go of the masked or masquerade ball to strategize a new plan. Spending to recover, using new passion and third energy, from suffering in silence to start over in love. No more standing at the gate, not going in or out due to pride. So recently for the masculine is the Seven of Cups, with synchronicities and options on how to recover in the aftermath of justice, divorce, Libra, released from prison, holding their tongue in separation of the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the High Priestess reversed, the stubborn ass, and the secret passion, or Viking priestess with no intuition. Options presented, not working, destined to heed the call to action, the final judgment, and announcements. The foundation for the masculine here is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, with the Queen of Wands inspired to look back or to go back to the past in a final decision, announcements, or wake-up call. Not expressing or sharing energy, just reaping rewards. The Queen of Wands judgmental or judged, or a judgment held over her head or announcement overhead, and a child not expressing feelings about past unworthiness or inability to save enough money, that it's never enough for her. So this could be a child, or it could be the masculine turning his back, saying these things, acting like a child, right? Because feeling vulnerable. But he's inspired to do this, but he's not facing her. He's not expressing his feelings. But he's now inspired by not expressing his feelings. The Seven of Wands, the central energy is the Seven of Wands, upright, standing up for himself to all the drama, a new passion or creative project offered by negative group from dysfunctional family, or taking their dysfunction and making lemons out of lemonade, or making lemonade out of lemons. The Emperor upright is looking back at a breakup or lack of affection and seeing synchronicities. But guidance was not working or not resonating with his calling at the time. Challenged by the Queen of Cups upright, loving, intuitive person, awake and seen by the King of Wands, boldly keeping it all to himself and keeping quiet. Or with a Cancer who knows nothing about it, or just pretending not to know, and the King of Swords stubborn or refusing to move or work. So then it's 505, which is the Hierophant and the Hierophant, which is interesting because that Hierophant and the Empress, which are both Taurus, keep coming up next to each other, both reversed today. The dysfunctional family childhood or gossip about them, or the past returns to surrender, to impatience, or the fallen angel, or Sagittarius reversed. Sleeping Beauty is wide awake and longing for the King of Wands to hold her, but the false light flanks them on both sides. And at night, the Queen of Cups and the King of Wands release and repair, right? So when you're sleeping, you naturally come together. And remember, this is a great thing to remember. You know, you all think you have control over this journey, but what are you doing when you sleep? You can't control what's going on when you sleep. And that's when you naturally come together in the etheric realms. Of course, unless neither one of you is sleeping all night. But when you're sleeping, you can't control what happens. So of course, that's when you're healing and coming together and repairing yourself. At night, the Page of Wands inspired to confess or drop all his burdens, sick and tired of no peace, always ending wars, or dealing with PTSD, or in other words, victims. Now is the Knight of Cups, in the masculine's head, crowning. The Knight of Cups, upright, offering love, being love. The Knight of Wands, rushing back and ending, taking forever with the King of Swords. The Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups implementing a plan together. So this is where I saw the two couples, the King and Queen of Swords and the King and Queen of Cups, both upright, all of them, and then the reversed Hierophant and Empress side by side. Okay, so they could be dealing with some parents who are ill. Two knights, so the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, and both of the knights are upright as well. Two couples and parents, the Taurus and Taurus, both reversed. They don't have to both be Tauruses, but they can be, or they can just be a Hierophant reversed, which is, you know, can be spirituality, it can be someone thinking outside the box, but it can also be a divorce, it can be breaking contracts, a break from the religion, a break from any tradition or the old way of being. And then we have the Empress reversed there next to them, which has to do with lack. Can also be miscarriage, can be an illness of older parents, so this can definitely be two older people who are ill as well. So the Emperor offers love, with the Hermit shedding light on disconnect and standing up for self and the need to grieve the deep connection that was lost, or feeling bad for having offered love and then ghosting them. The Page of Pentacles, the student of the Emperor at home, or about the union, was an opportunity presented to the Emperor for the Bull to leave and be in union and be inspired. Or it could be a child also now dead to their father or father-in-law in a breakup with partner, breaking up while whole family. So when you're going through a breakup, you know, sometimes you end up breaking up with the whole family and home, right? Because then no one will speak to you, and that's not always the case, because a lot of families where the family still talks to the ex. But here it was coming up like, you know, if you disconnect with the partner in our family, you disconnect with everything, including any, you know, perks. So the Bull exits right, the father or partner now left with only one of two. And this can have to do with a masculine with two partners or a masculine with two children, but one child could have left because they didn't want to be there, or, like I said, a child is dead to a father. So they could have been done something so bad that the father can't deal with them, or it's just against their beliefs. Or the child just left and they're not talking to each other anymore right now because the child went to do something that they didn't agree with. Or it can do with the masculine having two partners, or just a partner and the divine feminine connected energetically, and that one is now done and gone. Okay, so the lovers threesome now down to two in a bold move to move or travel or ascend with Libra, or in justice upright, or divorce, or a claim for an illness. Justice is fair, 2 equal spoons of fruit dispensed for what ails. The faceless people, or patience. So when you say the faceless people in a crowd, it was coming up like that. So again, justice is fair with 2 equal spoons of fruit dispensed for what ails. The faceless people, or patience in a crowd. Soon the 6 of Swords reversed, which is a lack of peace. sick and tired or out of control, kids, Leo, ego, or King of Swords, overexposed and keeping to themselves. With Cancer on his mind, or between him and the King of Wands, a Cancer person could be between them, keeping them both calm. Okay, so the King of Wands and the King of Swords come up a lot together. They can be two different sides of his personality, or they could be two different people. But here it's coming up with a Cancer or a journey between them. And remember, when two kings come up, it can be representing the mastery of the feminine and the masculine as well. At night, things change for him for the better, with the third party through work or after leaving work issues behind, right? So it gets better at night. Bleeding out, the Page of Swords upright, spreading the word about inability to sleep, rising above, and the 5D, bleeding out, betrayal and a painful end, choosing the left, the new, away from the dissatisfaction. And the King of Cups is reversed here. Emotionally detached, alcohol issues, or over-emotional, or just plain depressed about news. He is seeing himself as the Six of Cups, but reversed. And it's like he fell into the King of Pentacles reversed, fell into being greedy and all about the money, falling on face or from grace and lacking faith. With difficult kids, or his twin returning, dumped or pushed to his emotional limits with a message of love, or childlike ex, I'm the baby, gotta love me, holding back money, new life, and unable to find peace, not releasing their stuck emotions. And this is at 533, which is the Hierophant, and 33 is the Seven of Wands, standing up for yourself. 33 is also the Christ vibration. So forgiving and learning, keep an open mind, soulmate, calling in your soulmate, and then the last one from Romance Angels for the masculine was release your ex. Around him or how he is seen is the Nine of Swords, being stressed, purging, suffering in silence, on a quest to be loved, to offer truth to the Queen of Swords reversed about debt, scam, imbalanced relationship, and the masculine needing to clear blocks of the indigo reversed. You know, childlike insecurities, not feeling like they have the tools, or literally lost the tools they need to do what they need to do. Tripped up and dropping the facade, dealing with difficult emotions of depression and unhappiness being alone. Teaching and learning, time out, adventure, and health came up for the masculine, but even more so today was relationship change. He may have been trying to protect himself in the past, but now is surrendering. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, family destined to be at war, not him. The Queen of Cups sovereign, recovering and letting go to repair. The truth is out and starting over, with Capricorn and or devil energy waving to the Queen of Pentacles in a breakup or no affection and back pain, or a painful ending and betrayal. Not expressing feelings, holding back energy exchange. The King of Cups reversed, spreading the word about the end of the war and the world finally now as it should be. Complete. The sealed divine feminine on top. Recovering from exile, abandonment, holding back, saving money. Before a new life, with the past returning after suffering in silence. Synchronicities and stairway to heaven. Standing up for himself and challenged by the Queen of Cups and her loving intuition. Without peace due to the indigo, insecurities, and or no tools. And the Knight of Cups offering love to dysfunctional family, giving them the truth about holding back feelings about the King of Cups reversed, drinking, depression, inner war, and coming full circle at this time. Recovery from depression and pain, reaping rewards, eating up savings though, and seeing synchronicities and options. With savings, holding back to save more, to stand up for himself and then offer love. The challenge being, like I said, the Queen of Cups. The past returns, difficult childhood or difficult kids, with no peace, stuck in their emotions, suffering, purging, stressed about insecurities, and dysfunctional family, now with the truth. And here we are coming up with Thanksgiving. So it could come out on Thanksgiving, it could come out, it's maybe out now, before, or might be coming out after Thanksgiving, you know. So you never know what might come up this week. Could be very interesting Thanksgiving this year. Okay, so I'm going to show you those cards. I'm going to show you let me show you these first. So I pulled some cards from my Kipper deck just to add to the story here. Okay, so here's the story. So first we have two women and adjudication. So this can regard, like just like in the reading, it can be between two women as lovers or two children and dealing with difficult children, okay? And having to go before a judge or mediation. It can just be family mediation, right? It doesn't have to be a formal judge. But there's some kind of decision making that needs to happen, and we have expectations, privileged lady, so they both have certain expectations, and then the adjudication between them, okay? So could have to do with children who've been spoiled, and now maybe some financial loss has occurred, so they have to pull back on that, and they could be having temper tantrums, or just wanting their own way as far as their own beliefs and what's good for them, and then doing something against their parents' will. Or literally, like I said, it could be between a karmic energy, it could be two karmic women as well, or a karmic and the divine feminine, and the masculine deliberating, or divorcing, or getting married. So that's how we start out the story. Then we have these three cards. The mature man, the bad health, and the pathway. So this is very much about ascension symptoms. It can be other illnesses too, but in general, it can relate to ascension symptoms and just being lovesick as well. The mature man with bad health and the pathway, the path that he needs to take to get better. Then we have imprisonment, marriage, and message of concern. Okay, so this is someone feeling imprisoned in a marriage and a message of concern coming in. Or it also can be the other way, feeling imprisoned, not being able to marry, with a message of concern coming in. And then the final cards, oh, by the way, the underlying energy from this deck at the bottom was the 777s again, sudden wealth. And then the final three cards for the energy of the read for the masculine today were the wealthy man, the man in despair, and the man with thoughts about the woman. Okay, so if that doesn't give you a confirmation, I don't know what does. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the cards from the read, and then we're going to pull some oracle cards like I did yesterday. So the underlying energy is there with the 5 of Pentacles, or crystals in this deck from SIRIAN Starseed deck. And you see the other decks. We have the Rider-Waite Mini. We have that one is the Gilded Tarot. The black edged ones are the Golden Universal Tarot, and then the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Okay, so these are, the recent past was the 7 of Chalices or Cups. The foundation is the Ace of Crystals with the clarification cards. I don't know if there was another one there. Yeah, so you have the Judgment card under there too. Okay, that's the Ace of Crystals that's reversed. Then in the middle you have the 7 of Flames, challenged by the Sage of Chalices or the Queen of Cups. Up here, underlying energies, and then crowning, you see all the people there. So the blue wave there, that's the Knight of Cups. And then you got the Knight of Wands there. Okay, with the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords above it, and the King and Queen of Cups right there. And there's those 2 older people that they may be dealing with, okay? And this could be relatives coming to visit for the holiday and needing to make preparations for them as well. So we come across here to what's coming up, which is the 6 of Orbs, or Swords, reversed. Lacking peace, and the masculine seeing himself as that 6 of Chalices, but reversed, and around him the 9 of Orbs. The blocks he needs to clear has to do with that indigo hiding, right? He's peeking. And then look at the colors of the numerology deck, all right? So we have the sacral energies. That's more of a teal than blue, so it could be throat chakra E. And then the third eye, right? With the blues and purples going from the throat to the third eye, and the crown as well. And then we end up there with the family, which is reversed. The Ace of Swords upright, the 8 of Wands reversed, and then the King of Cups reversed. Okay, so and then here's the cards I just showed you with the underlying energy, and then the sets of cards. All right, so now we're going to pull some oracle cards and see what kind of channeled messages are going to come through in addition to what I've received here. Because a lot of what I write and journal, the whole reason I journal, one reason because there's so many cards, but also because I get messages when I look at the cards to write it down, and then I get more messages when I read it to you. All right, so we're going to start out with my Ascension deck. Okay. So everyone take a deep breath. This is for November 25th, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative energies from all auric layers, all chakra layers, first layers and beyond. All multidimensional bodies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned. Filling those empty spaces with beautiful divine love and guided light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take another deep breath. All right, let's see what's coming up from the Ascension deck for everybody here. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What are the messages that need to come through? Okay. Okay. So the bottom of the deck is the Huna prayer. Okay, and you can read that if you want to do the Huna prayer. It's just a simple prayer that you do every day for 30 days. And it's also number 8. So one card came out first, and that was the Mahatma energy, and then a couple more cards came out, and I'll tell you them in a minute. So we have the 6 of the Lovers. The golden era of Atlantis, many great souls place some of their energy, as well as the Christ Buddha light, and that of the 12 rays, into a sacred pool to create a high-frequency group consciousness. The people could draw from this sacred pool to enhance themselves and their projects. This golden white Mahatma energy is once more available, and you're invited to draw it through your chakra system into the earth. This will raise your frequency to help the planet, for you will leave golden white footsteps wherever you go. Send it to others to accelerate their ascension, and the affirmation is, I invoke the Mahatma energy to flow through me. So the other 3 cards that came up right after that one are these 3 cards. So we have the Archangel Metatron's Retreat, which is number 28, the 2 of Wands. The Gold Ray of Christ, which this came up yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. And then Archangel Metatron, which 2 Metatrons came up yesterday too. That's why we called on Metatron. So we have the Gold Ray of Christ here. So I'll let you see each one of them so you can read them if you want. Okay. The Gold Ray of Christ, which is 5, which is the Hierophant, and then 27 is that Ace of Wands. Okay. So because we have the Mahatma energy, I want to call on Gandhi today and see what Gandhi has for us. So we're going into the past life deck now here. Okay, and this is Brian Weiss. There's another author on the deck as well, but you can look that up online. It is the past life deck. All right, so for everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. And if you haven't read his first book, Many Lives, Many Masters, you definitely should. That was, I don't know when it came out. I mean, obviously it was 20, 30 years ago. One of the first books I read about past life experiences, that kind of thing. All right, so this is to Gandhi, please, if you'd like to come through for us. Gandhi. Okay. So everyone watching, the highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Gandhi, do you have advice for us? What are the messages that need to come through? Everybody take a deep breath. Okay. I have a couple different sections here. Hold on. That was really weird. I looked down, and it's not like Gandhi at all, but I was seeing Gandhi with like a hood on him. When I first looked down, this is the underlying energy for phobias, which is fear. She reminds me of an actress, too. I can't think of who it is, though. I don't know if I'd remember her name anyway, but... So the first cards, and I'll get into this in a minute, are... We had Farm, Upright, and Atlantis Reversed. And you see it, they're both green. Very different greens, but still green the same. Okay, one is very aquatic, and one's of the earth. So I'm going to get into those 2 in a minute. I just want to count the other cards that came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 6 wanted to like flip out, and that's the baby reverse. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we have 10. which is good fortune, that high vibration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. And the baby. So this card flipped out when I was counting them. The baby reversed. And this card's at the bottom of the 10 cards. Imprisonment or slavery reversed. So being released from imprisonment or slavery. So the baby bird might have fallen out of the nest, or someone might have lost a child. That may have been someone who really didn't want to get pregnant. You know, it could be somebody older or just a young person who didn't want to be pregnant. They may have miscarried because they're being freed from the imprisonment or slavery of having to raise a child. Or literally can, just like I said, that a child fell out of the nest. All right, so now they're on their own. So this is coming up as a 10 though, a turn for the better. So not to worry. They're following their own guidance. And Spirit's connecting with me. So I just want to take a look at this farm in this Atlantis card. I'm also getting from, you know, the baby often comes up with Jesus because he's the baby in the manger. So this is in the read, I'm the baby, gotta love me, for the Page of Cups came up, and it came up earlier too when I was reading from my friend. So that's definitely a message there today with I'm the baby, gotta love me, and the Christ vibration saying I don't need to be the center of attention anymore, right? It's about you not calling on me, but you calling on your higher self, because we're all one, you see? So it's saying to not make there a separation between us. And that's getting confirmed as well, because under the Mahatma card, the Christ energy comes up as the Christ Buddha energy, right? Because we're paralleling. It's about unity consciousness, not just about one person, not just about baby Jesus in the manger. All right, so the farm, so the horses are coming up again, and the dolphins are reversed. So the waters are obviously very dirty. I'm getting the ground isn't so clean either, even though the farm card is upright and the water is reversed. I'm getting this one. You see the coloring is kind of blurred, you know. The boundaries are being blurred. It's making me want to cry. All right, so we're seeing animals here, so it's representing between the races, but all different forms of life, okay? Because you have the sea life, the land animals, and the humans, and then other beings like ETs and such, that the boundaries need to be blurred. There is no ultimate separation at all. That the water life, the beings in the oceans are being ignored and need more attention paid to them. The animals on land, of course, get more attention than the ones in the sea, but they still need more attention as well. There isn't what they're telling me is there's not much difference between the horses and the dolphins, you know. They're both very loving animals to humans. And you see they're both in twos as well. I'm getting with the water life, you know, what are you going to do if there are no more dolphins in the world anymore? Right? When there's no more twos that can make another dolphin. And even the pillars are sinking to the bottom of the sea. I'm getting that many get caught up in the toxicity of the bad relationship. All right, see how all these get caught up in the strings of the toxicity of this relationship. Yes, it's because of the toxic water, but it's paralleling to human toxic relationships, whether on land or sea. Sometimes you see the toxicity, but sometimes you don't. So just because they look okay on the outside doesn't mean that they are. And that's very much the lesson. I'm getting a very strong connection on that. Just because there's a toxic relationship doesn't mean you can see the toxicity on the outside. You see how you can see the dolphin's toxicity because you see the light being shown on them. There's a spotlight on them, turning up dead in the ocean. Whereas these horses may be eating toxic grass, but it's not seen because it's not known yet. There's been no attention paid to it. And now the underlying energy, bringing that into it, has to do with phobias and fears. All right, fear of the water and fear of the ocean. So someone who has a phobia about drowning in the ocean stays away from the water and doesn't even want to think about aquatic life because they have a fear of it. And being in fear means that you're not in love. So remember, always go back to the basics of love versus fear. If you're in fear, you're not in love, right? And it's funny because when you bring that up, everyone always has an excuse saying, that's not fear, I'm just this. But if it's not love, it's always fear. And be okay with that. You know, we're human. And it's okay to experience those things. But also to recognize them for what they are. And don't be afraid to help what you don't understand. Like you don't know a lot about the water life or aquatic life, or you don't know a lot about farm life. It's nothing to fear. All it takes is stepping out to talk to someone, to learn about them. And as soon as you do, your fears disappear. It's always taking that first step, right? When your children are scared to do things, you take that first step with them, right? The first try. And then after that, they're great on their own. Well, it's the same with any differences between any people or animals. If you just take one step toward each other to let go of the fear of the unknown, then all of a sudden everything becomes much easier to deal with. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak up for them. And don't be afraid to put your hands together and pray for them. And remember that the prayer, bringing your hands together and your feet together, closes your inner circuit. Makes it very powerful to build up your third energy. All right, so now we're going to go to... So we want to free all of the slaves, not just the human ones, but the animal ones too, since we have so much control over their lives. Okay, so there's 10 plus 2, so 12 altogether. So wisdom of the hangman and completion. And seeing new perspectives, right? See the perspective from the water and see the perspective from the land. See the perspective from the Indians, from the jail cells, from the human perspective. They each have their own perspective, so learn the different perspectives. So now from the journey of love. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? I'm asking Gandhi. And of course Gandhi would bring that up. Peace amongst all beings. And spirits connecting with me. Oh. Thank you. Gandhi's saying, don't be afraid to speak up for the vulnerable, please. It's making me want to cry. Okay, so journey of love, again. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn on this November 25th, 2019? What is the message for us, Gandhi, please? We have 3 cards. and then just one, and then just another. The bottom of the deck is the Lovers, okay, which is 57 in this deck, which is that Three of Swords energy. So all about the twin energies, right? The Lovers, which is very simple. It's black and white with a little maroon at the bottom, or wine, depending on your perspective. So the first cards came out was a bunch of 4. And you see 2 purple and 2, oh, this is what they're reminding me to tell you something. I forgot. I was meditating before to bring you a message, and I wasn't getting much. But what I was getting was the emerald green and the purple light swirling with each other, which is very much about the union energies, the masculine and the feminine. So here we have very much violet kind of light, and then the green light. And we had very much green in the farm and the ocean energies, which is very much heart-based, right? So, all right, so we have 4 cards, then 1, and then 1. 4 is the union, and then 1, and then 1. You notice they're not 2, they're separate sovereigns, 1 and 1. Then we have these 4 in between representing the union, right? The pillars of stability, being the 10 of the 3 to 1, the mother, father, and the child. The 10 of the high vibration, the wheel of fortune, the destiny, the fate. And this is a picture completely of being in the vortex. And there's definitely more than 2 people in there. Okay? It's about the safety of the family, the 3 to 1, that you're all one, bringing 3 into 1. The 10 of the high vibration and the good fortune, the peace inside, in your knowing, in the purple. And here's the cloak, and I love how these 2 cards go so beautifully together. The cloak is the 50 of the family. We have the 10 of the good fortune and the 10 of cups, the emotional family. But you notice there's only one person in this group. Like, this is the family picture, and then this is the sovereign picture, the emotional fulfillment of the one within. And the 50 being a 5 of expansion, and also the Hierophant of God, the oneness. Okay, and this also being the 1. I love those colors. So that's half of the 4. The other half of the 4, the green side, has to do with the eruption of light, which came up yesterday, and the blood dance, which has to do with, that's 11 and 42, justice and the 2 of cups, both being green. This is like more of the masculine energy. But the feminine at the same time. This is more grounded energy, whereas the other 2 were more etheric energies. And remember, in what I've come up with, it's not just the dance between your masculine and feminine, because you're also dancing between the 3D and 5D, or just the multi-dimensionality. So it's basically, think of a wave, like your blood, like your, EKG, of the waves up and down in one direction for going up and down from the 3 to 4D or 5D, whatever it is, and up. And then the other waves going sideways from the masculine to the feminine. So think not only of the dance one way, but in both directions. And that's why the dance is so difficult, because you have to come in in the dance within you first, and then coordinate that with your twin, which is what makes it so hard, because you're not just dancing between the masculine and feminine, but between dimensions as well. So here's the eruption of light. It's like once there's peace found within the vortex, then the consummation happens, and that's the Hieros Gamos. And this card represents the blood dance, having to do with the pulsing from the heart out to the extremities of the limbs and the feet and that kind of thing. So it's referencing, when you're in your heart and the blood's in your heart and it comes back to your heart, you're very connected to your higher self. But when the blood leaves the heart, it goes out to the extremities of your fingertips and your head and your feet. You may feel very disconnected from self. But it's the same thing going out in life. There's going to be some times when you feel very connected to higher self, and there's going to be other times you're called to go out into the 3D and deal with the 3D life as a human. But don't forget, it always comes back to the source again. So when you feel disconnected, don't feel like all is lost, or like, why don't I know what I knew last week, right? It's because you're being called to have faith in your humanness, right? And then you'll be called back to source again. So this is the stability of your union. 3 to 1, the cloak that is just you and your sovereignty, the eruption into light of the union of the two, and then the blood dance between you. The dance not only between the masculine and feminine, but the dance between dimensions as well. So there's your union. But the cards that came up as your individuality have to do with the simplicity of it. The number 4, the Emperor. Look at that, the Emperor and the Queen of Cups. Didn't that come up in the beginning of the read? So this is representing the masculine, very simple. And this is representing the feminine, the Queen of Cups, the pearl threaded, very intricate and delicate. But she is the connection. She is the thread between all of the pearls, the connection to the unity consciousness through the higher self. And there's the masculine. I'm sure it depends on your perspective how you see this, but it can be like a little piggy in the grass or a mouse. But there's a bird here too, but it's just very black and white, easy, right? It's what people say about the masculine energy, you know, if you feed them and give them sex, right? And something to be challenged by, then they're a happy camper, right? Whereas the feminine energy is a little bit more difficult in that respect, because they're in touch with all the details and the aspects of their personalities. So this is the feminine within the feminine and the masculine. They're pearl threaded. So I'm going to read you these two. So the 4 for the masculine, the 38 for the feminine, the Queen of Cups and the Emperor. And let's see how that comes up. Okay, 4 is simplicity. Bow to that which is simple. You will find answers to your most complex issues and those questions that seem to defy the possibility of an answer. You'll find the solution now through simplicity. Live one day at a time. Have gratitude for whatever you possibly can, even if you are yet to understand why you should be grateful, because you cannot perceive the gift hiding within your struggles quite yet. Trust in the goodness of life, seeking to serve you into becoming the fullness of all that you are. Yes, beloved, even in your darkest night, the light of love is serving you. The most sophisticated of problems, and that light of love is serving you is referencing to when you're sleeping, like I brought up in the read. The most sophisticated of problems can be resolved through a simple answer. Love, trust, have faith, be patient. Wait and you shall see. Let simplicity be. This oracle brings you an answer. Everything is going to be all right. Don't add fuel to the fire and look for ways to sort out complicated matters prematurely. Sometimes ingredients need to cook and percolate so that they can become a meal. The circumstances with which you are struggling will right themselves in time. Stay present and be patient. Pray in your own way. Meditation, time in nature, dance, and literally talk to the divine. When you need to take a clear, simple action, you will feel it. Relax and know it is all going to work out for the best. And the poem simply states, there is peace for one whose heart is open. Okay, so that is a message for the masculine, to go ahead and continue to keep things simple, but peace will come when your heart is open. 38 for the divine feminine. The pearl threaded. Though we labor through the illusion of individuality and have to face our inner challenges in solitude, our spiritual transformation is not an independent event, nor is it our victory alone as we approach the enlightened way of all-embracing love. Each human being is a pearl on the Divine Mother's garland, gradually assuming luster and revealing beauty, worth, and radiance over many lifetimes. Together we're creating a precious offering in return for her gift of life. We can learn to draw on the collective effort to allow our own journey to become integrated into the journey of the group without being weighed down, and instead to be lifted up. To do this, we honor the threads that connect each of us as one divine being, just like the various fingers that belong to the one hand. When we honor the pearl essence of our divine nature, that we are capable of growth and transformation, becoming divine beauty. This oracle brings you a message. You are to shift your perspective to allow all groups that you're involved in to become a source of energetic lifting rather than depletion. If a group you're involved in cannot do this for you, then you may not be in vibrational resonance, and it may be time to seek a group that is more energetically supportive of your vibration. Trust your feelings and don't be scared to open up and allow yourself to connect with others. That way you can truly know if a group or gathering is for you, or if you need to move on. But do trust you are not alone on your journey, and the soul's connections that will nourish you will draw you to them, just like strands of pearls on the Divine Mother's necklace. And the poem simply states here, hearts apart, remember love, and time stands still. So it's saying to the feminine, even when your hearts are apart, you always remember the love, that the love is always there, and time always stands still when you remain present inside your heart, which is inside the masculine's heart as well. And then for the masculine, it was to just keep your heart open. The feminine was to stay in unconditional love, and remember the love has not left you. It's always been there, and it still is. And time stands still, because there's no linear time when you're in the present moment. So a very nice message for the masculine and feminine. Okay, guys, it was just 10110. Rise and be love, you guys. Rise and be love. Bye.